All right, may I have your attention, please? I want to say thank you guys for coming tonight. We are going to get started by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is right over here. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so the first thing on our agenda is we are going to talk about our library situation. I think that's what you all are here for. There is a notice to taxpayers going out today. It's posted in the journal. You can find it online too. There is a petition being started that has started. There's to join the Pulaski County Public Library. With this being said, a little bit of how a petition works is I'm going to say Winnemac Library, if that's okay. The Winnemac Library signed a resolution to expand and have us join their district, Beaver Township join their district at their last board meeting via petition. They were approached by an individual that would like to run and man the petition. And so they approved, they made a resolution to join. They sent it to the township trustee. And then we had 10 days to get this advertised and start the petition. So starting tomorrow, we have 60 days for the petition to gather signatures. Alongside with that petition goes to join the Pulaski County Public Library. There also will be a remonstrance if you do not want to join the Pulaski County Public Library to sign if you are opposed to that. After the 60 days, then we take those to the clerk. They will then verify all of the signatures. And then when the signatures are verified, they hand them back to the board. If there is 20% of the registered voters that sign the petition, then the board looks at it. And if there is more signatures on the petition saying that they want to join the Pulaski County Public Library, then on the remonstrance saying they do not, then we then join the expansion and are part of Winnemac's library. With that being said, that means we will get a new tax rate if this goes through too. We will join, we will get a tax rate that the Pulaski County Public Library has. Those are the easy point blank what it is. So there's a couple clarities that we've got from it. We've reached out and we've got clarity. We've learned that state statute. We've learned a lot in the last, 2 weeks about this. But this is all going to be resident led. The Winnemac board, they passed a resolution. Now they're out of it. And then we don't do much until the clerk verifies the signatures. Katie Beeram is the one that's here to speak about the petition. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you all for coming and welcome. I'm Katie Brown. I live in Beaver Township. I feel very, very passionately that for the future of Beaver Township, we should have public library access. I could go into lots of facts and studies about how it benefits economically, socially, personal development, culturally. I think you guys can all figure that out for yourselves, so I'll just bypass that. So as Kayla mentioned, there are two ways to join a library district. One, the township board passes a resolution and you join whichever district they pass. Township board is able to do that at any time. They could do it right now, even with the petition. So when the district started back in the 60s, that was 50 to 60 years that any township board could have joined with the library and have decided not to. I believe probably it's because they don't want to raise taxes on people, which means that this should really be resident-led. And so, I've been asking about this for about 5 years. I've brought it up, been interested, and at this point I just decided, you know what, I really think this is important for our township. So I proceeded with the petition. I contacted the Pulaski County Library Board and asked them to pass this petition in June. They thought about it and passed it in July. And now, starting tomorrow, the petition starts. So that's why I feel like we should do this. And when I evaluated which library we should join, I looked at the services provided and the tax rate. So Pulaski County Library, I feel, has a lot more services to offer, including digital resources that can be used at any time. Here are just a few of them. Playground Prep, it's a 2 to 4-year-old preschool program. Canopy, Stream Movies, Blackstone, audiobooks at any time. I'm sure you guys can do your own research, but tons and tons of homeschool education, core curricula, resources to look things up for yourselves and research. Just really great, really, really good services. Then I looked at the tax piece because we are raising taxes, and that's, affects a lot of people. Well, everybody, affects everybody, and nobody wants to pay taxes, okay? So if you get into the nitty gritty of the taxes a little bit, there is a general fund rate, which both library districts have, and then Pulaski County has a additional debt service rate, which I have been working with the Indiana State Library and the Department of Local Government Finance to determine that new townships joining the existing do not take on the debt service rate. So we would just be at the base general rate of Pulaski County. I asked the same of Francisville, which has a payment lease program, and they said, maybe not, maybe it kind of depends on how it's structured. So, baseline, if you just take the general fund, I think that's a fair assessment. I think we are all asking, I asked if Beaver Township joins with Francisville, surely their rate would go down because logically you have more people. So I was working with Judy Robertson at the Local Government Finance, and she said that is not always what happens because there are so many other things. So we can't really count on either rate going down to even out. Sorry, I'm not great at public speaking. Okay, so the other thing I want to mention is that right now we do not have access to, well, we do, because Kayla made a deal to get services. Back in 2019, we had a contract. We did not have money for the contract, so we had to cancel it. Kayla made a deal so that if okay, well, I was speaking with the Indiana State Library, and they said it's not a contract. They don't have it.
The contract that
with the Francisville Library.
was ended in 2019.
No, the one that you're doing right now, that Beaver Township.
Yeah, it's not a contract. I'm saying we did have a contract,
Yes.
right, with Francisville
Correct.
that ended in 2019.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You just missed what? You said we had a contract.
Oh.
You didn't say with which
Okay,
library.
Sorry. Getting all flustered. Yes. Had a contract with Francisville. We did not have the money to pay for it, so it had to end. Kayla, trying to serve the people, made this deal. However, it could end at any time. We could no longer have services at any time because it's up to the discretion of the board and the trustee to do that, which is why I want to lead this and join a district so that everybody has unconditional access to libraries. What I mean when I say that is right now, you have to, one, know about you to going to the Francisville Library and signing up for it. And then you have to do that every year. You get a non-resident card, which has restrictions when you go to other libraries. All of these things are barriers to access that stop people from using it. And we have 36 people who use library services in this township through either library. That's about 7.6 of our population. Pulaski County Library District has a 62% user rate, which tells me that people here don't know or know how to get services, which is why also I think we should join the district. Yeah, I think that's about all I have to say. I trust you all to do your research and make up your own minds. I'll have a petition going around. Feel free to scan this or scan your card. I did send these cards to every single registered voter just because I really do think everybody should get to weigh in on this and be able to make up their own mind. So yeah, you can also, there's also a code over on the desk if you want to scan and register to vote if you're not registered, or encourage your friends and family to register to vote. You can sign the petition after you have registered. I'd probably give it like a couple days so it, goes through. Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
The postcard that you sent out to all Beaver residents, we need to recap that. Because you did not list hardly anything that we offer in Princessville. You put puzzles.
Well, okay. When I made this, I looked at the separators. They both have really nice facilities. They both have warm, welcoming staff. They both have physical books. They both have movies, right? What I feel stands out is the digital services that are offered. And to the best of my knowledge, Pulaski County doesn't have puzzles, where Francisville has a really large selection of puzzles, which I don't know, I think is really cool because who wants to buy puzzles? Sorry.
But why did that be the only thing that you listed?
That was the only thing that I found.
When I put the park pass, you didn't ask anybody.
Yeah.
Katie, I'm Jim Jordan. I've been a resident of Beaver Township going on 84 years. And how long have you been in Beaver?
5 years.
5 years? You come to a trustee and talk about library?
Yes, I have. I reached out in
You have?
2021. I met her in July. Yes.
Are you in any county office?
I'm
Commission?
on the redevelopment commission.
And what are you in that?
I'm the secretary.
And who's your president?
I don't know.
Yes, you do know.
It's Brian Ludley.
Okay, well, great. I'm so glad you guys brought this up. I am not bought. I'm not paid for. I'm not doing this
Wait a minute.
nefariously.
Just, who's the president?
Apparently, it's Brian Ledley.
And he is to the librarian
Okay,
husband?
okay. We need to
The
stop.
There is no
What
secret
relation?
The
organization.
director of the board.
Nobody's
That's the
buying
library
me.
board.
Nobody's paying.
Please.
It cost me $236 of my own personal money to mail a card to every single voter. That's all it cost. I'm the type of stubborn who would rather pay that than go pay my yearly membership to a library because I don't feel like it's fair. I think everybody should have access.
Just like you controlled, Winnemac controlled Madeireville.
Okay.
Okay,
What happened?
no, just wait a minute. White Post and Cass had to go with Winnemac. Why couldn't it went to Franceville?
I don't know.
We
That's
asked.
years in
It
the
don't
past.
even-
We
Even
were
though you
told we
make,
weren't allowed to.
they didn't want to?
No. We were told by the library board that we weren't allowed to.
There you go.
divorce.
Why would we want to be in the library board? Well, I shouldn't be taking, go ahead.
I'm specifically asking about Beaver Township and I'm looking to the future. I cannot control what happened 10, 15 years ago. It's in the past. If residents of White Post or any other want to separate, I'm sure there's a legal process out there and they can take up a petition to do that. Just
No,
as
there's not. Only if it's up to the board at the library.
But your library board of Winnemac voted to take Beaver in without even asking Beaver.
Well, I asked Beaver. I asked them.
Nobody asked me.
Well, can
Yeah, but-
I, so can
Yeah,
I
but where do you
clarify?
have authority to ask them?
Can I-
You're just.
Okay.
Can I clarify for a minute? So Kitty had sent us an email earlier in the year, and I brought it to the board saying that she wished there was library. And then in July, she contacted me about doing a petition. She contacted me via email. And so I contacted her and asked if we could meet, and we met here in Pasco and had a great conversation. I told her, I think you're gonna have a really good amount of steam coming. I think this is time. The board, we have talked about it. It's coming to a point where we really need to join a library district, if that's what the residents want. So we talked, and we talked about getting a committee together. She actually originally started having a committee. She asked if I wanted to have any names, so I was gonna research and give her some names. And she talked about tabling this resolution to the board. I told her I would go to the library board meeting. But she said, we'll probably table it because this seems like the right thing to do instead of just rushing this. So that's how we left our meeting, thinking, okay, we're gonna have a board meeting, we're gonna discuss this. And then the morning of our board meeting, she contacted me, we had talked, and she decided that instead of tabling it and letting us create a committee, we were gonna hopefully send out a survey to every resident so we could see what the feedback was. We did this in a nice way, not start a war, not start another battle in this township. Unfortunately, what happened was she went ahead with the procedure to do the resolution. Okay, we originally was gonna have this meeting so that everybody could talk and we could determine if we were ready to join a library district and what library district it was. But we aren't going to try to undermine a petition because that's the dirty way of doing politics. So we're letting the petition run because we're not going to undermine it. But know that we had discussed, we're gonna do this with a committee, we're gonna send out a survey, we're gonna use this meeting that's why it doesn't say anything about a petition, because we had these printed and ready to go before that board meeting on the library board meeting Thursday, where they passed this resolution to expand us.
Okay, the township board meeting was on Tuesday, and by that Thursday, you had them all printed.
Yeah. It's easy to do when you're determined.
Okay, well, it took me significantly longer to get mine printed.
I was on a mission. I was a little frustrated because of this situation. We were wanting to do this the soft way. We were wanting to do this where everybody was included, everybody had an opinion, and they weren't being forced to say yes or no. But we're in this position now. We can't change it.
Everybody still has a voice. They can choose to sign, they can choose to sign the remonstrance. You can sign them both. I don't care. Everybody gets to decide.
I just want to clarify, they have to have only 20% to pass the petition?
At least 20% and more than the remonstrance. Which 20% is at minimum 66 people. Honestly, I kind of thought it would be hard to get 66 people agree to increase their taxes. Do you have something else?
Most likely, we're gonna be taxed someplace.
Yes.
It's coming, we know it. But the thing of it is, I pay from Indian Creek and Franklin Township $700 to the Winamac Library, and I can't use it.
Exactly.
I know it's not your fault, but
You can use it. You have real property.
yeah,
No,
but I pay that much for it.
Yeah.
Not living.
we don't live there, so we were told.
All right,
Okay.
this is what we're told when we go to get, I had this problem when I moved here, and we have property, in Indian Creek, we have property everywhere, but we don't, our residency's not in those, so there we can't get a library card, even though we own and pay taxes
Yep.
to
Yes.
We were all
the
told that.
library.
Yes,
We
you
tried.
say, oh, we're Beaver Township.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
nope,
Did you explain you have real property? in
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't.
Gave the address,
I am not-
everything.
Affiliated with Pulaski County, and I do not control their policies or anything that they have ever done. I'm not on the board.
This is the consequence.
When we first moved down here 4 years ago, we were trying to figure out the whole library situation. Went to Winamac, and as soon as you told me you were from Beaver Township, they're like, $1,000. $1,000 to Dwayne, I'm like, rent a book or borrow a book.
It's not $1,000, it's $132.
Right, okay, so he spoke up. I'm gonna tell you, as a homeschool mom of 20 years, literature-based primarily curriculum, always in the library. I can tell you, you can get what you need. There is very little to no limitations on a reciprocal, because I have been in a position to use reciprocal cards for over 25 years in the state of Indiana. So that is not a voting point to go to Winnemac, and I can tell you, yes, you can get your card if we end up paying these taxes, rightly so, because the school district is West Central Francisville area. We should be paying our taxes over there, supporting our local library, building it up to get more resources within our library, and using a reciprocal card. Now, from what I have seen and what he has seen, they need to add some more books over there, as well as some non-liberal materials, because I've heard, I haven't been over there in a couple years, but I've heard a lot of it coming in very liberal. So they need to either balance that out or something. So the reciprocal, not a problem. And I have borrowed stuff literally across Northwest Indiana.
If you have a non-resident card and you're not part of any district, you do not have full reciprocal access. And I believe you
No,
can
but
find
if
this-
you if you are part of Francisville, if we go and pay Francisville.
Yes, then you will have full reciprocal.
Exactly.
But can I say that full reciprocal cards depends on each library's policy as to what they offer the reciprocal cards versus your home library.
Right, but
So
as,
when Matt chooses versus, their board chooses to not let those reciprocal cards use the online services. This technically isn't, I would consider this more of a library board conversation, not,
but
just
everyone
not as
needs to
township.
know that the reciprocal thing is a minor issue, because I have, like, we lived in Judson, I had a Judson card, I had a Knox card, I had a Valco card, I had a LaPorte card, literally went all over the place and did not have a problem because we had a home library. So the reciprocal, and every library had their own thing. And yeah, Plymouth, they at one point said, oh, you need X amount of dollars of closets to take movies out. And I said, don't take movies out, that's from you. So we went to our home library and got from Knox, because that was what we considered our home library. But that is, it can be done, and that to me, your postcard was seriously misleading. And that is where a lot of people are going to get upset.
When I,
Take a breath a minute. I'm Maggie Rollins. I've been in Beaver Township for about 25 plus years. I love Beaver Township. They don't belong to the library service. It's red over there on that map. And the information on that card come off of the website.
But this is where you're
Francisville website, that's all the information you could get. Francisville's, please do. Francisville Facebook page, it was very limited. And now in the last 2 weeks, it's bumped up a whole lot.
So, but you're telling me you don't go and do your homework and go and talk to Anita or one of the
Oh,
ladies?
yes, absolutely. After
That's
25
what you should
years,
be doing.
I've had a park over there.
Yeah.
I choose to go to Winnemac.
That's
my choice.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if some of the younger people coming into our Beaver Township would have the option and not to, that don't have that $150 every year to pay Francisville, $132 a year to belong to a home.
This Maggie, I would like to address that, the website thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, we didn't have anything on puzzles on the website. So I'm
yes,
not
because
sure
our
we're getting
bidding,
there.
you have like a big selection of
And it was very interesting that our Facebook page was hacked right after our huge summer reading program. So we didn't get any of our information out at that time, maybe when we were looking. So I would have welcomed, my staff would have welcomed you Katie, I've known Katie for a long time, into the library, showed you around, answered questions.
Been there,
Um,
I've been there. This is not to be a hostile.
So Facebook.
Exactly,
This is
exactly.
We all know they have the same.
And you
Okay,
have,
so
and you have the choice
when I made the
to
card-
say no or yes.
When I made the card, I had already started this petition, and I was told we were gonna have this meeting, and then the board is gonna vote and pass a resolution ASAP. That was the exact language I got. And so I was like, I'm gonna have to fight really hard just to get people to show up. And you know how people show up when they're mad.
Who's on the Francisville board? I mean, where are they at in this?
I don't know. I'm a private resident. I would like services to Pulaski County. I don't have connections or anything
Well,
with
that's
it.
what I wondered, why was it presented to one bank, but we never talked with Francisville? I mean,
Well,
who are the people?
Somebody
Anyone
can
know?
do a petition to Francisville if they want.
The petition has to be going to class guy.
Right.
The remonstrance has to go to class guy. So why there was even a comparison, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of unfair. We do have another library in Monterey that you could have compared to.
And I was in that same situation there.
Okay, if people don't want to drive to Winnemac, they're not driving to Monterey. So again, I compared with
I lived in the Monterey School District, but worked in Winnemac. And I could not use the Winnemac Library because I was Monterey. And now I live in Beaver Township, and I have no issues with going to Francisville. But my question is, who's on the Francisville board? What's their stance?
Okay, I think we're gonna pause for a minute. Do you have anything you'd like to follow up and say?
I do not, but if anybody does have questions, feel free to reach out.
Thank you. Thank you. So Kay, speaking about the petition, Tara is going to stand up and talk a little bit about the remonstrance, which is not signing the other piece of paper.
So first of all, I just want to start off by thanking Kayla for everything that she's done as the Beaver Township trustee, because we do currently have library access right now through the Francisville Library because of an agreement after the contract was broken, the agreement that Kayla and Anita were able to make happen for the Beaver Township residents. And so the remonstrance is not to particularly join Francisville Library territory, but it is to not join the Pulaski County Public Library territory, giving us another opportunity that if we do as a township, as the residents of Beaver Township, if we want to join the Francisville Library, this is our first step in being able to do that, is to sign this remonstrance to not join the PCPL library. That being said, I just want everybody to understand how the current agreement has been working. We made a fund in our general fund for library card assistance. So as a Beaver resident, you go into the Francisville Library, you fill out a non-resident card. Anita sends that to Kayla, and Kayla pays that with your property taxes that you've already been paying into Beaver Township. So there's been no extra money coming out of the residents' pockets who have been going to Francisville and getting a library card. And then beyond that, I just want to say that for 58 years, which, you know, there's a few years of a break in there from 2019 to 2021, so 3 years, where we did not have library access, but that Francisville has been consistently working with Beaver Township to give us library access all these years. So since 1967, Beaver has had that contract. And obviously somewhere along the way, the ball was dropped, the contract was broken, and Kayla picked up those pieces again. So I just want to reiterate that Beaver Township residents have not been and are not currently without library access. And I think it's important for the residents to acknowledge that, because we've been working hard to make sure that we're taking care of you guys the best that we know how. And it's hard as a board. I mean, we're a pretty diverse board here, ages and everything, kids. But we've worked really hard and spent a lot of time. I mean, my very first meeting in 21 was about library, the tax rates for Pulaski County and Francisville. So it has constantly been an ongoing conversation. We've definitely not been lazy on the subject. So I just want to also say, I believe Katie told us that there are 36 Beaver Township residents who use the library.
33 to Francisville and 3 to Pulaski.
Okay, so 33 of those 36 that she named, which we had 34 down somewhere.
We have
35.
36.
Okay, so we have 36 Beaver Township residents with library cards at Francisville. So I just also want to make that known that when you look at the numbers of the percent of our township residents that are using the library, we're using Francisville more. And I do think that that says something, and not just that, but we are West Central School District, and I know that you can choose to go to whatever school that you want to. But when the majority of our kids are going to West Central School, they're using the library in Francisville. Their friends are at the library in Francisville. And so I just think that those are things that we need to consider. We can look at tax rates, we can look at services that the libraries offer, but obviously the residents who use the library at Francisville are perfectly satisfied with the services that they offered. And I just think that we need to keep all these things in mind as we think about the petition and the remonstrance. Where are our residents? Where are they going now? Who has been committed to serving our township? And so I understand the desire for all the things at Pulaski County, but a reciprocal card at other libraries could also get you access to streaming services that maybe Francisville doesn't offer. And I know Anita can speak more on that because she has talked to other libraries. But I just think that all of these things are incredibly important to consider before you decide whether you sign the petition or the remonstrance, that there is a whole history and already a committed library. Yes?
I would like to say something about the history goes back farther, because I was in elementary school and using the library at Francisville. That's been a while back.
Yeah. Well, thank you. But if there are any more questions about the remonstrance, you're willing, I'm willing to answer whatever you have, but like I said, the remonstrance is not necessarily joining Francisville, it is to not join the Pulaski County Public Library. So the next step would then be to, yes.
I don't have a question, can I say something?
Sure.
Not yet.
Oh, okay, wait.
Not yet?
Not yet. We are almost to public comment in the order of which they were received.
But I think that's all I have to say, so
Okay. Thank you, Tara. So I think before we open it to public comments, I do want to say something, mainly to the board. And you guys too. We want to know, originally what this meeting was for, we want to know if you guys want to join the library district, what library district you want to join. Like, that is information that we would like to have, so that, say this doesn't go through, say this petition doesn't go through, and then we're starting at ground zero. So us as a board, we want to know, are you guys ready to adopt a tax rate to the other library? Or are you ready to say, no, I don't want to pay a tax rate. I don't want to be in a library district. We're going to keep doing the same thing that we're doing. We need that information so that if for some reason this doesn't go through, we know where to go from there. And since we have all of you fine folks here now, this is the perfect time to do that.
Maybe have them indicate, if they sign the remonstrance, like indicate on there, like, yes, I want Francisville, or no, I don't want.
A tax rate.
Yeah, then you just.
I think that's a really good idea. Okay, so we're gonna open this up to public comment. Before I do, I want people to be respectful and remember that we all live in the same area together and we are all neighbors and we are all supposed to love thy neighbor. And please be respectful of time and please be respectful of each other. And I would really appreciate it if this meeting is really for you guys to talk to each other. We'll listen, we're here, but face and talk to them because you guys are the ones that get to do the signatures. We get to do a signature, but we don't control it. This is the residents. So first to speak is Anita. We're just going by how it was signed in chronological or numerical order. So Anita, would you like to speak? If so, will you come up to the center?
Oh, no, can I go to the side? Nobody else went to the center.
Please come towards the middle so we can see
Okay,
who's
all right,
speaking.
all right.
Just because it's like an L shape and they can't see what we're
Okay. Well, for those of you that don't know me, I know there's a few in here that don't. I'm Anita Messer, and I'm the current director of the Francis Township Public Library. And I see so many friendly faces out there, so many faces that come to the library through the years, and we have enjoyed our patronage for years. I was going to talk a little bit about that, but I think Tara already landed on that. The fact that the first contract was signed in 1967, before my time, but it was there. And for every year since then, the Beaver Township trustee and the Salem Township board decided to have that contract. There was a slight hiccup there for a couple years, and it wasn't able to be paid. And so we had to work on a way to get the Beaver Township people to have access to the library. Kayla came to me, said, what can you do? And I said, we'll work on what you want to do. She said she was willing to pay for that non-resident fee. And so that's what we did. That's what we did. And so then we got to see our wonderful patrons again. When we had the contract, we had 77 patrons from Beaver Township coming. Now we're up to 36. We're getting them back as they get the news. We try to get that news out as much as we can. So anyhow, that's just a little bit about the history. We are a one township library. That means we only get tax dollars from Salem Township. However, we do have those reciprocal cards. I hope everybody understands what that is. If they don't, I'll try to explain that. That means if you have a home library, those of you that live in any other district except for the Monterey area, Francisville, or Beaver, have a card through the Pulaski County Library. You can then, that's your home library, so you can go to another library and get a reciprocal card, meaning that you have access to that library. So vice versa the same way. So the Pulaski County Library has 9 townships. So of course they're going to have a way bigger budget than we have. I mean, that only makes sense. They're going to offer more services than we can. We just can't. But anyhow, with our reciprocal card holders that we have, we let them utilize all of our services. Digital services, everything we have. We don't hold back.
Exactly.
But I was told that the reciprocal card holders that go to Pulaski County cannot use their digital services. So knowing that was the case, I reached out to Tony Mersch up in Monterey. I don't know if any of you know Tony. They have a beautiful library. It's a lot like ours, our one township library. Excuse me. And she said, of course, we offer all of our services to reciprocal borrowers. So her and I talked, we said, of course. I said, so if Beaver were to come to Francisville, would you let them come? She goes, yes, and they could use our digital services. If we had another township come on board with us, then we could offer more services. I mean, it does only make sense, right? So that would be our plan, to expand our services if we happen to get that, but that's not what this meeting's about. This meeting's about Katie's petition or Tara's remonstrance.
I just want to add to what, like Katie had said, like each year you have to fill out the non-resident card fee. And I just want to say Francisville is not making you do that. Anita will call you, or one of the library ladies will call you, ask you if you want to renew your card, and they do it for you. They just
They do the work.
Yes, so you don't even have to go in there, refill out a whole new form. So I know like it sounds like exhaustive, but no, we don't even have to do that. They do it for us. So that is another great thing. I just wanted to point that out too.
Yeah, thank you, Tara.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tara. Sometimes we get used to doing stuff we don't really realize we're doing it all, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We have a library of things, if people don't know what that is. I've got more papers around if anybody wants to see it. This wasn't covered on the postcard that was sent out. I have papers sitting around here, so we have lots and lots to offer. A library of things is just things that aren't books or DVDs or anything like that. So we have games that kids can check out. And I don't mean just like a little board game, I mean like giant Jenga, giant checkers, anything like that. So we have a whole lot of that, and we're always adding to that because our patrons love that. So I don't want to go into too much of our services because I know you can read these and you can see these for yourself. But we really do have a lot to offer. And keep in mind, we do this on a one township property budget. I think it's amazing what we can do. I think the sky would be the limit if we got one other township on board. But that will be up to you, for you as Beaver residents. I know we've worked together for many, many years and have enjoyed our patronage with you. So let's see. Okay, so on the bottom of the page, I just thought I would read this out loud. We offer a warm, inviting atmosphere where our patrons are our very first priority. We have fun and exciting programs for all ages. The pinnacle for us is our summer reading program. This year we had 151 kids, and they come from all over the county and beyond. If we had nothing to offer, why would 151 kids come to our summer reading program? So I think that's amazing. The Francisville Salem Township Public Library is very proud to offer so many materials with just receiving that one township taxes. So just imagine what we could do if we had this. The sky would be the limit. So I have some plans, some ideas that if Beaver came on board, that I would implement. I shared them with Katie, or Kayla, I'm sorry. And I hope they come to real life. So you have any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
Would you like to speak next?
Do I have to stand up like I just said here?
You're more than welcome to say.
Thank you.
Yes.
So the trustees have been paying for the non-resident fee for that. So how do you guys set your budget? So where's the cap for paying the 150 non-resident fee for over there on the trustee up of your?
So we have a budget, this year. Please, I can tell you exactly what it is. So it is, $5,000 is in our budget. That's already money that is built in the tax rate. It's either going to sit in the account or we're going to use it. So we decided we would use it for this. The first year we did it, we only paid for 50% of the card. Being the first year, we didn't know what to expect. So, and then it was only, I believe it was only $2,000 budget. Don't hold me to that, I would have to look to get that actual number. But we have grown it every year. But I think within the next year or two, if it continues to grow, we need to it's growing too much. There's many people accessing.
Yes.
That's why we're talking, we need to adopt, join something. Yes, yep, absolutely.
That's what I was wanting to know, is there a cap? Because, you know, if you got 36 or whatever, you can hit your cap, and everybody else is kind of still doesn't have access, or they pay it out of pocket.
Right, yep. So, I mean, we budget, and then, I mean, we have a rainy day fund, we can, you know, if the board approves making stuff like that as we go over budget. We have never went over budget, we came close, but we haven't went over budget. But it's definitely something that we talk about every year, this time of year. Is it worth it? Like, do we want to continue this? Do we want to grow it? Nobody's been ready to join a library district yet. So this year is a little bit different. So hopefully good things will happen.
Join something.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Edith, DePoy?
I just had a question of why property owners can't vote, because we're the ones that pay property tax. And that's what brings it in. So, and a person could be a resident, but they could be a renting resident, and they would pay no property tax.
Yeah.
I agree. State, take it up with our state legislators, because that's, I
Yeah.
mean, this is state code. Indiana, I think, is one of the only very few states that actually still do the petition, like have this process, is what I've read. Don't hold me to it. So, but yes, that is it's state statute. So if we want that changed, talk to Mr. Cole, our representatives. Do you have any other input?
No.
Okay.
That's my question.
Mr. Gayer, would you like to speak?
My name is Mike Gayer. I'm the Salem Township trustee. I wasn't aware how the libraries, the difference on how they were funded until this was all brought up. 12 townships in Pulaski County. Branchville gets funding from one, Monterey gets funding from one, Winnemac gets funding from 9, and Beaver is undecided. It seems to me, and I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but it seems to me that to simplify matters, you get the 12 townships to take their tax money and equally and fairly divide it 3 ways and feed all 3 libraries from all 12 townships. You're issued 1 card, and you pay 1 yearly fee, and that card gets you into Monterey, it gets you into Winnemac, it gets you into Francisville. The money that's received from the card, selling cards, is split 3 ways back to the libraries. Francisville might sell 100 cards, Winnemac might sell 200. You take the 300 and you divide it equally 3 ways between the 3 libraries. That way you don't have any boundaries, you don't have to worry about, I don't have authority to go here, I don't have authority to go here, this is their jurisdiction, this is my jurisdiction. 12 townships divided 3 ways, everybody's getting, the 3 libraries are getting the same amount of funding from 12 different ways, no boundaries, 1 card gets you into 3 libraries. Seems to me that's the simplest way to go.
Email our representatives.
Yes, sir.
Instructions all state.
In a perfect world, that would work great. And then when, if we have more local control, that sounds great. But that is our, it's already set.
We had that with Madera.
Mike, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Nope, I was always a rebel, still there.
We appreciate that. We appreciate that.
AJ, good one. Would you like to speak?
Yeah, I'm not far from Mike, I have been a rebel. Did anybody get a chance to look at this? Thought it was very, very neat, very well presented. I don't know if people really got a chance to look at it. I'm AJ Gutwein, by the way. Just got put on the county council at large, Certain County, and It's been my honor so far. The 7 months I've done it. But is this look fair? I don't get to answer that. I just sat through 2 days of budget hearings for everybody in the county. And if somebody brought me this, I'll laugh at them. I said, you're out of your mind. I live here, Samuel. Always have. My family's lived there for over 100 years. I'm on the fire department in Salem. We cover a lot of beaver as well. A lot of beaver. So the fire department, you can go to Beaver. Why wouldn't your library want to go to Salem? That's all in my brain. I mean, we already get this money in Salem for the fire department. We get some, a little bit from people like those. Some of this obviously gets covered by Buffalo, which we're thankful for, because we can't get there. And by golly, Star City can't, and obviously Winback can't. So, I think this speaks volumes, and this should burn in your brain when you go vote. And I hope you make a good decision. Thank you.
Connie, would you like to speak? Yes.
Yes, I sure do. And my point is to the people that are comparing the services from the Nonak Library to the Branson Library. I think what you're missing is the budget. I believe the Nonak Library is on a $1.5 million budget per year. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the Francisville Library is well under $500,000, I believe, right? 308,000. So when you start talking about comparing services and equipment, you gotta start looking at the budget. Because Francisville, what they put out on their skinny little shoestring of budget is phenomenal. So I would say, please support the Francisville Library, see what they can bring online. And I don't think that needs more than 1.5 million a year. Thank you.
Maggie Kirschman.
Hey, some of you know me, I'm Maggie, and I'm just gonna read off of here so that I don't get off subject. So I grew up in Beaver Township. I live in White Coast Township where I lived for 20 years. And so according to WKBI Radio, in 2016, Pulaski County Public Library decided to close the Madeiraville branch of their library. Madeiraville is the town that's in White Coast Township. This was a huge loss, especially at the time, because kids needed Wi-Fi to complete schoolwork and home internet wasn't quite what it is now. They did keep a Wi-Fi connection open, but seemed unusable since the signal didn't carry far from the building. Kids even went as far as sitting in the local gas station to have internet to do their homework. People in White Coast Township felt the loss and began to feel like second-class citizens. It seems an injustice that one of the poorest, if not the poorest township in Pulaski County was left with library resources so far from home. And I've been told that the building in Madeiraville is up for sale. So no hopes of.
Thank you, Maggie. Sarah Croft, would you like to speak?
Yes, please. I am Sarah Croft. I'm a resident. I'm not a resident of Beaver Township. I'm a resident of White Coast. But I wanted to share my experience with the Pulaski Public Library with you, or what I like to call it as the Winback Library. I can tell you that, as Maggie said, the library board and its director did everything they could to close the Madeiraville branch. Hours were changed. Programming was inconsistent and inconvenient. Books and DVDs were taken away, all to make it look like usership was down. Let's not forget that the land was donated by the Maryville Lions Club for the library, and the CDC gave a grant of $365,000 to build the building. In 2015, White Coast citizens collected signatures and went to board meetings, one of which was held the night before Thanksgiving to save the branch. My then 10-year-old daughter asked the board to reconsider the closure. It was all in vain. Now the Winnemac Library has plans to sell the building. However, that's in the past, and we're trying to move on. But I can tell you that through my work as director of the Pulaski County CASA program, which advocates for abused and neglected children in our county, that the Winnemac Library is not a welcoming place to families and individuals in need of services. For example, on June 3rd, 2025, the Winnemac Board sent out a certified letter to several organizations, including the Department of Child Services, stating that meeting rooms can no longer be reserved by organizations offering, among other things, skills training and supervised parenting time. Nor are parents that have court-ordered parenting time allowed to be in the library at all during parenting time. The Winnemac Library is a beautiful building that has undergone several renovations over the last few years. But it's also an organization that has cut services to one of the areas in our county that needs a post, Madairyville and White Coast. It closed the Madairyville branch because those in Madairyville are not worthy of services, and to families in crisis that I work with daily, because they don't align with the mission of the library board. The Salem Township Library is a warm and welcoming place for all people, even those in need. I have the letter that they sent. If anybody wants to read it, it was sent certified to several organizations. And if you would like a copy of it, I've got one copy.
Elise Williams, would you like to speak still?
I don't know if I should. A lot of what Sarah said, I agree with. But, I mean, I was born and raised Beaver Township. And especially being a West Sider and Beaver Township, I always felt very crapped on as a kid. And I also thought we had the best 4-H group, but nobody else thought that. I'm also speaking as someone who works at West Central and who the kids talk about the library all the time. And just like they said, on such a tiny little budget, they'll tell me things they do and activities they do, things they do after school. And it's like, there's some super cool things that they do. And I just know personally, as someone who grew up feeling very shunned, like I was library shunned because I felt like I couldn't use the Franceville Library, and I also felt like I couldn't use the Winnemac Library. And the handful of times we tried to use the Winnemac Library, which this was years ago, they were very rude. And I don't want to be that. So I'm having my own children, who use the library, or, these students who tell me all these things they do, and it's never about the Winnemac Library. It's always about the Franceville Library. So I feel like, I don't know, Beaver's special, in my opinion, and they deserve it.
Thank you, Elise. Tina Davis.
So good to see so many familiar faces. As a Beaver Township resident for 36 years and Pulaski County resident for 47 years, I just want to express that I'm thankful for our amazing libraries. Pulaski County has a lot to offer, and they are appreciated. All our libraries are. And I think we all can feel that way. It's not Beaver, it's not Winnemac, it's not Francisville. We're thankful for all our libraries. We agree, we're all here because we care for our communities, and we all want to access and foster the love of reading, education, history, past, present, and future. Have some kids here, that's our future. They're the ones that are going to be using the library. Our grandkids are here, they're going to be using the library. So we want to be thankful for those. And so we want to make sure also, and we know that our libraries are safe spaces for all sorts of purposes. We use them for all sorts of purposes in that way. And we have that in our Pulaski County libraries, and that's amazing. So my point is, why would we not want to support all our county libraries? And it's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Anita, that in shifting the Beaver, the amount of money we get from Beaver, non-residents, those funds, and we shifted them to the Winnemac Library, then that would take away funds from the Francisville Library. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, is that what we want?
No.
Just a question here. Why would we even consider doing that? And it's because of a very small tax rate we're talking about, a difference in quote, more offerings that Winnemac has to offer, unquote. Like it's been said, we beat this to death, the card. Because those of us in Beaver Township, when we got this, we were like, what? That's not true.
Yeah.
Anybody that uses the Francisville Library knows that's not true. They have all sorts of things. They have a wonderful staff, very welcoming, just amazing. Once again, it's been said, their budget is very small compared to a large budget that Winnemac has. Okay, Winnemac has 9 townships, awesome. Maybe they do need that money to support that. But I'm just saying, we don't want to take away money from Francisville that counts on, at this point, Beaver Township money. True?
Yeah.
Even though we're considered non-residents and kind of people who don't really belong. Although, honestly, I've never felt that way.
No.
Because Francisville has always been welcoming. And it's not the east and the west. Don't we have enough already that divides our county? I mean, let's face it. We don't want more of that. So, I want to present a word that I think is in high demand in this world today. But unfortunately, we have a low supply of it. And that word is trust. Okay? So we're talking about trust here. We're trusting that in good faith, Katie's coming saying she thinks it's better for Winnemac. In good faith, Beaver Township people are coming and saying, we think it's better, that our funds still go to Francisville. Because we love the Francisville Library. I would have gone to Winnemac, tried to when the kids were little, but we couldn't because we had to pay X amount of money. And right away I was like, okay, we're out of here. We're not doing that. So thankfully, we were able to go to Francisville and have wonderful service over the years. So I'm so thankful for that. So I guess just in wrapping this up, let's do our part to promote all the libraries. Let's make sure that the Francisville Library does not lose Beaver money or funding through this process. I think it's pretty simple. I would ask that Beaver Township folks sign the remonstrance, because if you consider what we're doing, we're supporting our community library, and it's like shopping local. And that is not wrong to invest in your local library. It is right to invest in your local library. Thank you.
Jill Holmes.
I could probably pass. I just have a personal story. As a teacher in Winnemac for 38 years, I moved out to Beaver Township, and after about 32 years, I lost my library card at Winnemac. As a teacher there, I used Winnemac Library. Lost my card, went into the library, couldn't get it renewed because now I'm in Beaver Township. I just think people should have access to Winnemac, access to Derryville. Why don't we incorporate it all and make it happen?
Thank you. Terry Schmicker.
Alright. Okay, so I'm Terry Schmicker, been a Beaver resident for 20 plus years. My kids have been all their lives to West Central, you know, their friends are there. We've always had access to Francisville, like everybody said. For the 2 years that there was a blip, we've tried to go to Winnemac. And they basically told us that, you know, we can't. We paid taxes on, 80 some acres in Jefferson Township, and we still could not get a library card. So, I just think if they wanted, why are they being so rude to us and not willing to work with us like Francisville has? And I think that's what everybody needs to keep in mind. They've been welcoming, Winnemac has not.
Casey Lowry.
I'm not only here as a Beaver Township resident, and for those of you that don't know me or go back, I'm married to Jeff Lowry. Been here for almost 20 years, not quite. I've also been teaching at West Central since 2007. I think that a lot of the same things have been repeated, but to continue to make our case is that you're not comparing apples to apples. So with a budget of 5 times bigger, I would hope that Winnemac had more services. What our library's been able to do, and as welcoming as we are, I know that I can tell any of our students that they can go up to Francisville and get what they need outside of school hours, as long as the library is open. I've had students that are not able to come to school that I was able to provide instruction to at the Francisville Library. So that is a safe place in our community, and looking at a lot of the other things that we have going in our community, to be able to offer a safe place for the youngsters in our community is vitally important. We have a lot of kids in Beaver Township that are not athletic, that are looking for other things to do with their time. The summer program was phenomenal for those students that needed reading practice, that needed a place to be, that parents may not have the financial restraints to provide the summer of cash, but they could take them to the library and they were having just as great of experiences, if not better. And they're making that tie to the community, and we want kids that are going to stay here long-term, hopefully. I've told you, my voice is shot, I'm sorry. We don't need anything else to divide the county. Like I said, a lot of these points have already been made, but I think that I would encourage people to sign the remonstrance, because what we know Francisville will be able to do with that, and that we have a home close to home to be able to call. If we think about growing up and the teachers that influenced us and our parents and grandparents that made sure that we have those books in front of us, that needs to continue. And it's not just about, you can get digital services on your phone for anything, but to know that somebody's welcoming and somebody's with those children's books downstairs and saying, what do you like to read about? What have you watched? What have you talked to? And I don't know whether that's the case at Winnemac. I haven't been there, never gone that direction. We don't go that direction in life. If we look geographically at where we're at, where are we most likely headed? So I understand that further over here, you guys may, but the vast majority were tied to the west. Thank you.
Levi, would you like to speak now?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Levi Messer. Again, I am another White Coast resident. I live exactly 2 miles from Beaver Township. I have a lot of extended family. I have a lot of lifelong friends who live in Beaver Township. And that being said, I feel like I have to defend Katie a little bit. I've known her for a long time, 4-H, junior leaders. I think she's coming at this with the right intentions. However, I do very strongly disagree with you guys going to Winnipeg. I have to say that because of the history in White Coast. I know we're trying to look ahead to the future. I think wisdom screams that we look behind to see how things work so that we can have a better future. Not to build up more animosity, but to gain wisdom. And whether it was mismanagement or on purpose, the Maderaeville Library was closed. I heard this week, I don't have permission to say his name, but he's a pastor in Maderaeville, that someone from the Winnemac Library closed the Maderaeville Library because, quote, those people don't know how to read anyway. It pains my heart to even say that. However, do they feel the same way about people in Beaver? I hope they don't. I would advise people in Beaver to not go to Winnipeg, just based on the past experiences I have as a White Coast resident and what I know about the Maderaeville branch closing. I wish I didn't have to say that, but I feel like it's my duty as family and as friends to many of you in the room. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Levi. That was everybody that said they wanted to speak. Is there anybody else have a change of heart who would like to speak?
I do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sandy.
My name is Sandy Lucas. I live in Winnemac, so I am not a part of any of these townships, but I am a very proud member of the Winnemac Library Board. And I can tell you that my heart hurts from some of the misinformation that has been shared. Our library wants nothing but for all libraries to prosper. It does nothing but help all of our communities across the board. I welcome anyone here to come to our library board meetings. They are public. Ask questions, get your answers from the people that are a part of it. Come and talk to us. I invite everyone to those meetings. I have yet to have anybody show up. People who ask questions, people aren't happy, please come. We welcome that. We want nothing but for all libraries to prosper. I can guarantee you that. Please come and talk to us.
Thank you.
I'm Lloyd Ezra. I'm 81 years old. I've lived in this township all my life. It's a wonderful township, and I'd just like to say that I was on the advisory board for quite a few years, and we went through this deal every year of how many we're going to pay the library board, and the trustee would always say, well, they haven't asked for more money, but they've done an amazing job for this township through the years. And I'm saying that they have done grateful things for us. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm
Ross Davis, lifetime resident of Beaver Township. I just kind of wanted to, in my mind, recap this. This is for the remonstrance, or if we sign the remonstrance, it keeps us from joining the Winamac Library.
Correct, that is.
So
all
if,
the
and if 20% plus the majority is on the remonstrance, that just means that we still don't have a library tax. We don't belong to either. We still have the agreement with Francisville.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to, that's important to.
Recap?
Yeah, which I'm sure you're still going to, but I just want to say that I've always had great experiences in Francisville. I think me and AJ even scooped snow. Scoop shovel. We even scooped snow for them when we were kids trying to earn some money. But it's always been a great experience. They've always been very welcoming. And that's something that we've never felt from the Winamac Library. And that's just coming from experiences as a kid. I haven't tried to go back there because it was never pleasant as a kid. So I just want to say, I support signing the remonstrance. I think that is the right way for this township, and then we can all decide what we want to do. All right.
Thank you.
That's it. Yep.
Thank you. Anybody else? Public comment? Yes.
I would like to add a postscript to what Levi said. That I volunteered at the library at Maduryville in the last few years that it was open, and there was quite a bit of business. A lot of people in and out, getting books and one thing or another.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm just curious, when is the Winamac Library Board meeting?
I'm sorry, let me look. I brought information. I'm horrible at that stuff. It goes on my calendar and then I forget it. I will get it for you.
Usually the third.
I apologize. It's a set day each month, so I will get it for you.
Is it the fourth Thursday of every month?
Last Wednesday.
What time?
The last Wednesday of the month, yes. 4:30. Judy's trying to tell you that if you call the library and let them know you don't have the agenda, they will put you on there and then.
Quiet, please.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're gonna close the public comments, just to recap, and so there are two board members here from Pulaski County Public Library. If you have any questions.
Well, they're the library board foundation, right? Or your library board, he's on.
Library board. There is multiple Pulaski County Library board members here. There is also Francisville Library here. So if you have any questions.
And we have a board member.
Certainly.
We have a former board member.
Could you introduce them, because we might not know?
Pulaski County, would you just like to stand up so they know who? Okay. Pulaski County, thank you.
Judy Peters, Nancy Ullman,
Okay,
Dr. Ullman.
can I ask the board why they voted to try to take us in?
I can answer that for you.
Okay. I want to know the reason why you picked us.
We want all libraries to prosper. We are not in the job of petitions. If someone approaches us and says, can we be a part of your library? Absolutely. It is not our decision to make. It is your decision to make. But if you come to us and say, can we be a part? Try it. You get to vote. There's a remonstrance, there's a petition. He said it. You get to choose. This is your township. We're not going to say no to you. So when we took a vote, try it. Absolutely. Why would we say no to that?
50-some years ago, my wife we had 4 children. And I stopped in the library at Winamac, and I had ground in Franklin Township. And they said, "Where you live?" I said, "Beaver Township." Same as get out. That's it.
What I can say is that was 50 years ago.
Couple years ago, so.
No, but I'm just saying that left a bad
That's
taste in
been,
my mouth.
that's been more things.
I would again invite anyone who is upset or has questions. I will talk to you after, or come to our board meetings. I welcome that, yes.
Well, within that library financially struggle, you do not.
Until you told me.
I don't believe so. That is actually a question for our director, who I know would love to talk to you. But again, this was not us. We do not have a dog in this fight. This is your decision. We support all libraries. And we do not want that either. Not our decision to make.
Okay, I would like to,
Yeah, I moved back 5 years ago, we couldn't get access to the library. I was gone for almost 10 years, and they closed to the Winamac library. We had to go to the Franksville to get access for kids.
And you live in Winamac?
No, we live in Beaver Township.
But, I mean, that's been discussed. You can, we've talked about why you don't have access. I mean, it is what it is.
But then why is it Alaska?
Excuse me?
Why is that Alaska County?
and I guess I want to state something too, and then I'll get to you. So in 2021, when we were working to try to figure out what we can do for the residents, I approached the director of Winamac, and I approached Anita at Francisville. They both took my idea to their board. Francisville said, "Yes, we'll be happy into whatever capacity to work with you." The director of Winamac replied back, "We're not interested in this, but you are more than welcome to join our tax rate in our district."
Exactly.
So I will say, we did do that. And
You made the
Mackenzie
deal.
talked about it at the board meeting last month that I was there. too.
Right. So you're talking about,
The agreement, yes,
The
not
agreement
a
you have,
contract,
not
we weren't doing
joining.
it, yep,
Right.
it was just an it's a Band-Aid, what we have is a Band-Aid, right? Again, Francisville said, "Yes, we are happy to do whatever we can." Winamac said, "Come back when you're ready to join our district and pay that tax rate," is essentially what I got in 2021, that was what I got. So, you had a question.
Yes, for the board members of the Glasgow Library, since the Maryville branch closed, has it ever been discussed to reopen it if you guys want to service the county? You need to reach into the county, do you not? And why, if it has not been discussed, why?
it has been discussed multiple times. Again, I would encourage you to talk to our director or come to a meeting where those conversations are being had.
At 4:30, when most people are working. I'm just gonna point that out. And you don't have to
Okay,
hold it, but I'm like, that's
these conversations aren't benefiting Beaver Township right now. So definitely there's board members here that if you wanna talk, you can talk to the board members. I do wanna, point out the Francisville board member, cause I have not done that yet. The Francisville board member, there she is. So, if you guys have any questions for her?
And then, former board member, Leo speaks.
Thank you for coming. If you guys have any questions for them, there they are. So, yep. Okay, so if you guys want to sign the petition, contact Katie. Katie's got all the information for that. I'm sure she'll be happy to connect with you. If you want to sign the remonstrance, there's a couple names, myself. Really, if you contact me and you want to sign me, I will get you where you need to go. But we are happy. There's names up there with phone numbers to contact. We also will try to contact you guys too. So, do you guys have anything else you'd like to add?
Do we have the papers here now?
We cannot start him until tomorrow. 12:01. If you want to hang out till midnight. I do not.
I'm not over here.
Okay.
I'll be across the street.
So we're gonna conclude this library. So if you guys are more than welcome to leave. If not, we're gonna continue our board meeting. So thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you for coming and being here to listen.
I miss that, even though I get paid for it. I work for everyone. So I don't see nothing wrong with the library. Thank you.
That's right. Late 60s when we were kids and I stopped in the library and they said, you know, you're not a resident.
I know, and you don't lose that.
I remember that.
I know. I'm the same way.
But it's all wrong. If you have property and you pay taxes in a district, it should be in a unit.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything. I think everybody needs a library.
Yeah.
So whatever, I'm going to put that on your shoulders. Whatever, everybody needs a library because the ones that need the most and like healthcare. I say it's like healthcare. Those that need the most can afford to drive to another town. So, but I don't blame you. I mean, the only thing I'd say is I think, our world is moving farther and farther and farther.
Yeah.
And I think people, I'm going to touch you, but I think we're going to have to come together. And I pray that we don't have I pray that it doesn't take horrible events to make us come together. And I would just, guys,
back even 20 years ago, it seemed like a Democrat and Republican, they could talk together. Now it's just,
well, I'll tell you what, I think if we were in a trench together or in a foxhole together, we would be the best buds.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what I was alluding to. Is that, and that's what I'm afraid, that's what I fear. Thanks for coming. We're around the corner, so I don't want to say things that I don't